Hey guys, it's the Lady J. It's Kevin Ford.
Hello.
And we're here to talk about Nova Bros Reload.
I can't do what they're doing to me on the podcast. That's obscene.
People are making really horrible gestures. This is a family-friendly show.
This is what I endure on every show day, despite being the lead commentator, is just people giving me shit, trying this. I'm like, I got a job to do.
Harvey Dangerfield, right?
Yes. Yeah, I kind of. I got a lot of jobs to do, and yet I'm just taking shit, but you know what? It's fun. It's wrestling.
Yeah.
I'm still a young boy, so to speak.
Are you?
In ways. In terms of like wrestling time period.
Okay.
This is the only company I've worked for. This is our 10th show. So yeah, 10 shows is not a lot for a person to have attended. It is great for a company, obviously, but for me, 10 is not a lot, especially compared to someone like Bobby Shields, who's been wrestling for 15 years or whatever. I'm very much the young boy, as wrestling lexicon likes to put it. Yes, the novice, if you will.
So we're here in the Annandale Volunteer Fire
Department. Yes, a part of it. We're not where the cool trucks and stuff are.
No, we're
There's
in
a wrestling
the back.
ring, which is even cooler.
And there's going to be people wrestling in it later.
Right. Supposedly.
They don't really tell me anything. I just show up and they tell me where to sit and whatever. This is the first show back in the new year.
It is. Yeah, been a 3-month hiatus almost. People seem like really amped for the show.
What's really funny is that by the time like the end of December came around and people sort of started to recover from the holidays and stuff, everyone was sort of like, when's Nova coming back?
Yeah, totally.
It was really awesome.
Hey, I mean, I think it's kind of a perfect time because everyone's spending a ton of money, so we don't have a lot of money to spend on frivolities and such.
Right.
You know, people are just busy like every weekend in December for a lot of people, depending on their holidays. They got parties, they got stuff to do, family, what have you. And then once the new year happens, people are like, all right, I'm ready for some wrestling. So, but you know, weather gets bad, so January is kind of a gamble.
Yeah.
Especially when you got people coming from Massachusetts, Tennessee, Pennsylvania, whatever. The last thing we want to do is try to get it put on a card, which we could not deliver. Right. So I think waiting till February, especially when it's supposed to be like 68 degrees tomorrow. I'm
from New York. This weather doesn't happen in February.
Right.
I'm not used to that at all.
So now, but we're back in full force. You know, we got stuff announced for March 10th in April, and ever forward. So, and this all starts tonight here at the Annandale Volunteer
let's talk about the card for tonight.
Let's do it
a little bit.
Okay.
So we have. Well, okay. Let's talk about the main event first.
Okay, absolutely.
We have the current Ultra J champion, Chet Sterling.
Yes.
Versus.
That's right. That is the main event of the evening. As the PWA Ultra J has been a main event in the past few times.
Yes.
For Nova Pro.
Yes.
Or at least a very high-profile match if it wasn't the main event.
Yes. And I feel like we've been on a collision course for this match for a little bit.
It really has. I mean, if you remember, after Cedric did his first or second, I want to say it was the defense against Chet, ironically back up in July, Logan came out and kind of made it known, like, I want to go for the Ultra J title. And then there was a big fracas with Kerman and Sanjay, and he was a little busy with that.
Mm-hmm.
But then in between, when he finished his issue with Sanjay coming back, there was a new champ in Chet Sterling. After Chet successfully defending against Bobby Shields, came in and attacked him and said, like, I'm reminding you, I want to be the Ultra J champion. You know, the PWI, Pro Wrestling International, is the one who sanctions these title matches. And it was very much a case of, okay, well, you need to earn some wins over some other competitors before getting the championship match. And so in the Survivor Series match, albeit through nefarious means, Logan did pin Chet Sterling. And a win is a win, you know, whether we like it or not. And I certainly did not like it very much sitting where I was at the commentary table.
Yeah.
He earned his title shot. At least that's the way that the PWI saw it. A win is a win, and Logan will get his chance, his first chance at the Ultra J Championship.
Well, and I think also, like, inside of a vacuum, like, if we're just talking about inside of Nova Pro, has kind of been a standout guy.
And I don't know if people know this, but he's been, like, quietly rising. It's a little hard to notice when he's such an arrogant person, but he hasn't lost a match since last March.
Wow.
Which is really impressive. Yeah, and people I don't think they realize it when you look back at it.
Last March, that was my very first Nova Pro.
That's right. Him and Sanjay had a great street fight that went all over the building.
Yep.
So that's another thing to bring up is Logan hasn't lost since then. And on the first show, Sanjay pinned him in a triple threat main event. But there's only one other person who's defeated him in Nova Pro. Do you know who that is? Chet Sterling.
Interesting.
So this is a rematch from last January. People who's ever pinned Logan in Nova Pro. And so even though Logan has to sustain momentum in Nova Pro since last March, Chet himself hasn't been doing too bad. And he's one of the few people to pin Logan. So I think he wants to repeat here tonight. But we might be seeing a new Ultra J champ.
But that also makes me feel like one of the, like, I guess the flip side of that is that one of the few people who's pinned Chet in Nova Pro, I guess.
Very true.
Is Logan.
Yeah, I mean, that is certainly a way of looking at it.
So this feels really even. Like, I sometimes we've had matches where the stakes are really high, but you just feel like we had a match between Ryo and Eric Royal a couple shows ago that
right.
While we were all really cheering for Ryo to get out from underneath the thumb of Money Green, it didn't feel like it was really on equal ground. Yeah. But this really feels like it really could go either way.
I agree. I agree completely. Both are obviously great wrestlers, despite what I have to say about Logan's demeanor or what have you. Yeah, it's really a toss-up. I could see either person leaving with the Ultra J title. And, I think one of the things people don't think about, Ultra J has kind of become it's become a Nova Pro title. It's been defended. I want to say it's the 5th or 6th time it's been defended on a Nova Pro show.
Yep.
But it's also a belt that the PWI, which includes like PWX, CWF Mid-Atlantic, and a few promotions overseas, that Logan has really not been able to penetrate. So winning the title kind of opens a lot of doors for him that Chet's already seen be open to him since defeating Cedric Alexander last August in CWF Mid-Atlantic.
Yeah. Well, I guess we have to wait and see.
I guess so.
I mean, I feel like...
Come to the show. Come see it yourself. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, so doors are at 7:30, which is about half an hour from now. And bell time is at 8 o'clock. And that's it, right? Can you still buy tickets at the door? It's not
you still buy tickets at the door. Yeah, $20 for general admission. Front row is sold out. But
so if you were hoping to end up with a flying wrestler in your lap...
I mean, you still might. People go a few rows back. Although there's a pretty strict, I think, Virginia commission does not like wrestlers going to the crowd, but you never know what momentum you get from a dive or what have you. It could be.
That's why I sit in the back. Although we did recently discover that sometimes I end up on camera by accident.
Yeah, it happens.
I have to stop jumping up out of my seat. That's what it is.
Sorry, there's stuff overhead. I don't know if it's an official announcement, but I think it
has something to do with pizza.
Oh, okay.
Let's talk about, speaking of Ryo, let's talk about what's going on with Ryo and Bobby Shields.
Bobby Shields.
I don't know.
Did you see that video that Bobby put out on Twitter?
Yes.
I don't know what to make of it. I think it's one of those things where we kind of mentioned before, Bobby Shields has been wrestling for 15 years. I think 2002, 2001 was around his debut. And I think, he's come and gone. He's seen all these people come in, come out, and he sees up-and-comers like Ryo come in, and I think maybe as a veteran he's come to resent them, or he has something to prove by taking the twinkle out of their eye. Maybe there's some sort of satisfaction he gets from doing that. That's the impression I kind of got from that video.
I think that anybody who's not willing to embrace the next generation of wrestling talent in some way, shape, or form, like, he's coming at it from a really angry and sort of like place. Maybe
like a bitter place.
Yeah.
You tend to see like maybe people who've been around a long time, maybe they're not where they think they would be in their careers, or they're reaching a point where goals change or their perspective changes, and perspective change from Bobby. He used to be one of the most beloved people in Nova Pro, but he sort of had a warped mind about him ever since he lost to Cedric Alexander so many months ago, and now he's aligned with Logan Easton LaRoe, and even tangentially we've seen. So I don't know. It's something that I think we need to kind of wait and see. Like, what's the deal? Like, why Ryo of all people? Because Ryo just won his freedom from Money Green in November, so this is his first match as a free man, not under the contract, under the thumb of Money Green.
Right. Well, I think that hopefully not having somebody on top of him allows Ryo to grow a little bit.
I would hope so.
I'm sure that being under the watchful eye of Money Green all the time was stifling. But I don't know. I think Bobby's pretty angry, and I'm worried that maybe Ryo's not prepared.
And it's really unfortunate, too, because somebody like Bobby Shields has so much to offer, so much knowledge and wisdom and experience to bestow upon somebody like Ryo, who is trying to grow and make a name for himself in wrestling. And instead of doing that, I feel that's what wrestling is all about. That's what those people of some of Bobby Shields' caliber, that is their role in wrestling. That is something they should be doing, not trying to stop a young wrestler from rising the ranks as high as they can. And so I think it's a shame. It's just a damn shame that Bobby feels this way.
Well, we'll see what happens, whether or not it's going to be experience or youthful exuberance that triumphs. And Bobby Shields versus Ryo. That sounds really good.
And, I think there is something to be said where Ryo had that win. Bobby's been kind of on a losing streak. I mean, he lost to Chet Sterling, as we talked about earlier, but he was also the first person to be eliminated in that Survivor Series match. So it's kind of embarrassing. So, maybe Ryo can use this momentum against Bobby Shields' lack of momentum. And we've seen Ryo pull off some, a shocking win here and there in the past. Tonight could be another night where that happens.
I hope so.
It's going to be an uphill climb for him, though.
I really hope so. But at the same time, because I think the other thing, too, is it's hard when somebody like Bobby, who was so beloved by the Nova Pro audience, suddenly becomes such an angry person. There's still, kind of a little part of me that wants that back, Yeah. And I don't know if winning or losing is the better way to get him back there.
I don't know. Maybe, hopefully all is not lost.
Yes.
But only time will tell.
Exactly. So far we've got the main event, which is Chet Sterling versus Logan Easton LaRoe, who I always have to make that face when I say his name, for the Ultra J title, PWI Ultra J title, and Ryo versus Bobby Shields. And that all starts at 8 o'clock. So be here, set doors at 7:30, 8 o'clock at the why is this so hard for me to say?
I don't know. Annandale Volunteer Fire Department. Now, traffic's kind of bad, but come now. Leave your house now.
Yeah, it's okay. Just close the computer and get in the car.
Or put on the background of your phone. I don't know.
Yeah, you could probably. Yeah, take us with you in the car. We'll wear our seatbelts. Don't worry. So let's talk about Sanjay versus Dijak.
Yes, I can't wait for that match. I think this is a really stacked card when you look at it. I can't believe this is a first time ever match. But the fact that it's happening in Nova Pro is really awesome.
Yes.
I think Sanjay's been around for a very long time, so I think it's really cool when Nova Pro is able to do stuff like this for him, give these one-time matches that I don't know how many cross paths these days.
Right.
It might only be here. So the fact that we're able to bring Donovan Dijak down from New England, who is just, I think, one of the best wrestlers going right now. The body of work that guy has put together in the 2 or 3 years he's been wrestling is incredible, perhaps unprecedented for anybody. It's one of those things where he's only been doing this for 3 years. Sanjay Dutt's been doing this for, 2 decades nearly. I mean, he's wrestled people the size of Donovan Dijak. He has a cunning, he has a wisdom to him. I really don't know how that match is going to shake out. A lot of times you see a wrestling match and kind of in your head you start envisioning how it's going to go. It's difficult for me to see how it's going to go.
So part of the reason why I wanted to talk about this one next is because I really feel like this is the absolute flip side of Bobby and Ryo. Right? This is someone who has tons of experience, has wrestled every kind of wrestler out there available to them, and really wants to share the wisdom of their experiences with less experienced wrestlers. And then you also have someone like Donovan Dijak, who might be less experienced, but is super, super hungry to learn new things and to try new things and go new places. And I just think that that's more of what we hope from wrestling matches is that people, not only do you get to go and experience a great performance, but also that the people, there's an exchange of knowledge, I guess, during the match. So.
Absolutely. And, Donovan Dijak's one of those people, he will travel anywhere. He'll wrestle anybody. He's taken to it like a fish to water. He wants to absorb as much as he can and just really, he wants to become a better wrestler. And obviously he wants to beat Sanjay Dutt. I think that's one of those things where he came in and debuted against Eric Royal, who's beaten everybody. So he lost, but I mean, there's no shame in losing to Eric Royal at this point, I think.
It's a list that includes Chris Hero. So.
It is a list that includes Chris Hero, the GOAT. And then, Hero and Royal was a great match. I kind of feel like Dijak and Jonathan Gresham stole that show in November.
That's exactly, it's so funny. Sometimes I wish that we did post shows instead of pre-shows, because when that was over, all I kept saying was man, Eric Royal and Chris Hero was everything that I wanted it to be, whereas Dijak and Gresham was everything I didn't know I wanted it to be. Yes,
understood. So that's one of those things, too, where, Dijak's coming from New England. Sanjay's kind of a staple of this area, and he's been here since the debut event. Dijak getting a win over him is a big deal. Coming to Nova Pro for him it's weird to say, but it's not always guaranteed. You know, it's one of those things where wins and losses matter in wrestling. And one thing I think is worth mentioning is we got the Commonwealth Cup coming up April 14th.
Right.
So matches like Dijak and Sanjay, the Nova Pro officials they're thinking about who's gonna fill out that 12 people. We only know Hot Sauce Tracy Williams has been confirmed as entering the tournament. You got to think that a win for Dijak, Nova Pro officials are going to take a win over Sanjay Dutt into consideration as to maybe putting him in the Commonwealth Cup. Is he able to score a win? And kind of the same thing with Sanjay Dutt. You know, if he's defending Donovan Dijak, that could punch one of their tickets into the Commonwealth Cup, which is something that I know you hear a lot of the roster talking about. It's something that they're interested in. They want to be a part of. The first tournament in Nova Pro wrestling history is a big deal. So I think for all the matches tonight, that's something that Nova Pro officials, as they're filling out that bracket, are going to be paying special attention to.
And I mean, Tracy Williams had a really great match against Eric Royal when he was here last year. But I think Dijak is just like, whether he wins or loses, his match is always a memorable part of every card that he's on. So I think to take that to the next level by then saying that he beat Sanjay, who is so beloved and revered here, I think that would definitely be something to consider going into the Commonwealth Cup. It's
weird to say because Sanjay's been wrestling for so long, but I feel like, especially if you've been kind of paying attention to what's going on the past week, both these guys are really hot topics in wrestling right now.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're getting a lot of buzz and getting a lot of love. So it's going to be a great match. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. Like, why would you miss that match? Why would you miss that match?
We're not going to. We'll be here, and you should be too. Let's talk about the women. So Veda Scott, who has wrestled here how many times?
Twice in the past, but she's been missing since July.
Yes. Not missing, just not here.
She's been missing from Nova Pro since July.
We've been aware of her. She's been like on Twitter and stuff like that. But she's here now, and she's going to wrestle Jordynne Grace.
She is. Jordynne making her Nova Pro debut.
So Jordynne was supposed to wrestle someone else, and then she was injured.
She was supposed to wrestle Brittany Blake in November.
Okay.
And then she was hurt, so she had to take a couple weeks off. And Rachel Ellering took her place on that show. But Jordynne Grace and Nova Pro said, we're going to bring her back. In 2017, we're going to bring Jordynne Grace back. And here's what I think is very interesting. Jordynne and Veda feuded in Beyond Wrestling, friends of Nova Pro from the New England area.
Okay.
And Veda Scott has 2 wins over Jordynne Grace in Beyond and Women's Wrestling Revolution, the sister promotion of Beyond. Mm-hmm. Both tainted, if less wins. I've noticed Veda Scott saying on Twitter that Nova Pro was one of her favorite places to wrestle, one of her favorite places to come. So then why was she gone for so long is my question. So I think bring Jordynne Grace back, Veda Scott hit up the Nova Pro office and said, I want her. And conspiracy theorist time. I think she knows that she has beaten Jordynne Grace twice in the past, and she wants to come back against someone who, in her mind, she thinks, I can beat easy, and start off her Nova Pro career after 2 losses and kind of get back on the right track, which is kind of the sneaky thing I would expect Veda Scott to pull. But that's just my conspiracy theory in all of this.
I mean, it's a good theory.
So, I mean, and those 2 have had great wrestling. I mean, they're 2 really awesome wrestlers.
But I also feel like the opposite side of this would be that from Jordynne's perspective, she's got 2 losses against Veda, and she wants to redeem herself. And what better way to...
Just streaming?
Yeah. You can come in and say hi.
I may or may not. Hello.
Look who it is.
It's Gary Offel.
I got here late. I was informed I was going to help with this in form or fashion.
That's
I don't
okay.
know.
You're welcome to take my spot, my friend.
I can't ever take your spot.
Yes, you can. Come on.
What are we discussing?
We can talk about your match.
Excellent. I can do that.
All right.
Women's match is going to be awesome. Go watch it.
Absolutely. You got stuck in traffic. I've been up since 4:30 a.m. driving.
I didn't even know they made at 4:30 in the morning.
It is normally that's when I go to bed.
Okay.
Tonight, Nova Pro, us in the Sandwich Squad. It's going to be huge. Might be the 2, as far as sheer girth and strength, the toughest challenge I've had in 5 years wrestling. But I'm a carny, and I cut the rules. And when I can't win fairly, I'm going to do it underhandedly.
I really appreciate your honesty about that.
Hey,
it's hard not to appreciate someone just saying, like, listen, I'm going to...
The devil will do it. You know, the devil will tell you exactly what you want to hear. This will come at a price. It's that Stranger Things, Stephen King book. I can't think of it. Anywho.
There were so many of them.
Oh, I know. Have you already gone down the whole card?
Well, most of it, yes.
Wow. Have you talked about some of the wonderful people that are here?
Not all of the wonderful people that are here, because I don't know. I have a bird's eye view of everyone who's here, and I don't know if I'm supposed to tell everybody who's here. You know, you
I
gotta
understand. You got to keep the mystery, and that's why people have to come here. Nova Pro tonight. Some of the best wrestling in this area, the best of the Northeast, the Southeast, and the Mid-Atlantic, coming together for one of the best products, the best wrestling events that money can buy. You're getting a cavalcade, a buffet of different styles, characters, techniques merged together, ran by wonderful people with progressive thought processes who put people in platforms to showcase what they can do. So wrestling events. It's what I do.
I'm just gonna go take a coffee break. Carrie's gonna do the show.
I can do this, but I'll get on my high horse and start preaching like I do on my soapbox. But what else is there to say? I mean, this is a company and federation that is taking the independent wrestling world by storm with good reason. You're seeing men and women showcased equally, not as an attraction match for the females, but as wrestlers. And for me, as a very liberal person, I commend and admire that. In the South, where I'm from, women's wrestling is not giving that luxury quite often, and they're not given the chance to show what they can do. And so to see places up here makes it that much sweeter for me to come up here, because I see what wrestling should be and can be in this new millennia that we have.
We need to get Carrie one of these PW Girl Gang shirts.
Absolutely. Pocket Volcano would pop seeing me in.
Yeah, I think she's already got one. What do you think about Jordynne Grace versus Veda Scott, since we're talking about the women?
So I've known Jordynne Grace for a very long time. I met her down in IWA Mid-South through the Hooligans and Jonathan Gresham.
Okay.
Pound for pound, she is not cookie cutter in any way, shape, or form.
Yep.
She, to me, embodies what a strong, independent woman is. It would be easy for a lot of people to be associated on coattails and ride that to popularity, but she has built a brand being a strong woman. Her work at Beyond Wrestling and Women's Revolution, WWR, is great.
It's Papa
Cameo.
Nails. Say
all
hi.
hails.
We're on the. Oh, say hi.
I didn't know it was on the camera.
You can say hi.
Come on. You got to say it in the camera, Papa.
Hi,
Pretty face.
it's me. It's Papa Hales. I'm at Nova Pro, and I'm ready for a great time. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you got to be here at 8 o'clock so you can see this man mark out like you wouldn't believe.
And get
That's
it
right.
fired up.
Fired up.
Sorry I got worked up because I love Lady J. I hadn't seen her in a while. I had to give her a hug.
Back to the women's match, of course. Jordynne Grace, when you're looking at her, she's actually very technically suave. She studies it and mixes that with her power game, and that's what makes her such a unique, dynamic competitor. Veda Scott, obviously internationally known thanks to Ring of Honor and other affiliated federations throughout all of North America, and of course that reaches out overseas in distribution. Honestly, it's going to be something very special for this crowd to see it. They're going to see a spectacle and a showcase that they're not going to see many other places.
Right.
I would say if I had to go with a winner and a loser on the match, while Veda is more established and has more of a reach and known, Jordynne Grace is slowly making that climb, the same climb that establishes everybody. She has something to prove, and she'll do it tonight by any means necessary, I believe.
Kevin was, right before you sat down, Kevin was talking about the fact that they actually have a history together at Beyond Wrestling, and Veda has 2 wins over Jordynne.
I did not know that.
But so there's 2 things going on here. One is that Veda's been away for a while.
Yes.
And so she comes back. She wants to face Jordynne because she knew that Jordynne Grace was going to be here. And I guess, Kevin has this conspiracy theory that Veda thought, well, I've already beat her twice before.
And if it's ring rust, it'll just be another day in the office. I don't know. It's funny because people don't take into account crowd size, crowds, people dynamics like that. People can get inside of a competitor's head very easily. And with that, maybe that could be a disadvantage. She comes in here thinking that it's a cakewalk. And Jordynne, 2 losses to her already, maybe she's done her homework. Maybe she's gone back and looked at the tape, reviewed it, and going to approach the match in a very different fashion.
Well, and something else, since you were talking before about all the people that we have here, there's an environment, I'm sure, that's going on back in the locker room. And if there's the right people like yourself who are talking to Jordynne and telling her to just stay focused, and to take all the experiences she's had since the last time she faced against Veda, I mean, I think she's got a really good chance of going out there and really surprising the crap out of everybody.
But not only that, with so many eyes that are on Nova, as people who are watching this right now, that's going to make main news. That's going to be on Pro Wrestling Wanderings. That's going to hit your quote-unquote dirt sheets. that's probably in Jordan's mind right now, which for me, myself, I live for that moment. As a man that was never supposed to make it on any news website, I thrive on it and go out of my way to prove that moments like that, wins like that matter, because that's my name, my brand, and my future possibilities. I'm sure Jordan realizes that a win over Veda is going to open a lot of doors for her.
Yep, absolutely. So the only way to find out what happens, though, is you got to come down here.
Right here, right now.
7:30 are the doors, 8 o'clock. If you're in the sound of Stutzy's voice, apparently, you got to get down here. Doors are at 8 o'clock. The Annandale Volunteer Firefighter Department. I don't know why it's so hard for me to say. I'm struggling with
It
it.
was hard for us to pull in here because 2 fire trucks left while I was getting ready to cross the road, and we almost got killed. That's how bad I wanted to get here. I almost put my life, Dylan, Papa, Fred, and Iggy's life in danger because we had to be here, and so do you. So get here. A huge, huge card. Action promised. Drama promised. Professional wrestling presented the way it was intended to be. And I'm here, and, well, I have merch to sell. I'm a carny.
The only more tattooed person than me
I just got
currently
my
in the
knuckles
building.
done the other day. It's in the white. I don't think they'll see it.
I was just looking at that. That's pretty intense.
It's because I'm a wuss and I have a corporate job being a carny. Hurting back there.
So
If you're not already, most of you are.
that's you, honey.
I've got to go. Thank you. I wish I had more time. Got here earlier because I have
That's all
a
right.
wild. So when I got contacted, and we'll have to follow this up at the next
I've
time.
already checked in.
There's so many things I would like to address outside of a wrestling card that I feel is important that a lot of people don't address, and I figured this would have been an amazing platform to do it.
Will you
But
come
we'll
on
talk
the
about
Facebook Feministas and we'll talk about it then?
I can talk for days.
Got
it.
Very awful. Not awful at all, ladies and gentlemen.
This is licensed state.
I have to go.
You must
Before I give away all of the
your license number. The state athletic
come down to the
commission
Annandale
will
Fire
be
Volunteer Fire Department
no
at
cursing.
7:30. Just do it.
We're
Okay?
not trying to
I'm the Lady
alienate
J,
fans.
Nova
So
Pro.
there's kids, a
It's
lot
all
of kids
good.
come to these shows,
Bye.
watch them